I got the horse right here. The name is Paul Revere, and here.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Eds, and along with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the Saturday, July the 19th races at Hastings, and hopefully give you some winners. And hopefully, I know the weather's supposed to change a bit this weekend, but we'll hope the forecast is a little off.
Yeah, just supposed to get a little cooler. I don't think it's going to rain too much, so we should have a fast track. Good crowds, great crowds out last week for the Wiener Dogs. Yeah, try and keep that momentum going. We have 7 races carded for the Saturday program. We'll jump right into it.
Carry on.
First race, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of the year for 5,000, going 6.5 furlongs. Kind of a 2-horse race here, Mike. I ended up on the 2 Grandpa George of the Nancy Betts barn. Amadeo Perez takes over for apprentice Corinne Andros, who's out of town riding in an apprentice challenge, I believe, in Sacramento, California.
Yeah, good luck to Corinne. She's down at Cal Expo there.
Yep. So I landed on Grandpa George, taking a big drop from 12.5 down to the $5,000 non-winners of the year level. That puts him in the winner's circle. The other one that you could look at in here is Stormy Canuck, another one taking a drop from the $16,000 level down to the non-winners of the year for $5,000 level. The only thing that worries me about him is he hasn't ran since the 25th of May, so he's been off almost 2 months. It'll be almost exactly 2 months by the time the race runs. And I just worry about maybe soundness issues, just kind of waiting to see. I'm taking a kind of watch one approach. That's why I put Grandpa George on top, put him in the second spot. And Vying for Glory in the third spot. Ryan Pacheco having a good meet, taking over for Ruzanne Choksi out of the very live Craig McPherson barn. I put him in the third spot. I got 2-6-5.
Yeah, I agree with the top 2. Looks like Amadeo Perez, who's he's going to have his choice a lot in the next upcoming weeks. Yeah. Is Richard Hamill down for 30 days? He had a medication violation, so he will. That's why Richard Hamill's not riding this weekend or for the next 4 weekends. But I like Grandpa George. This horse battle on the pace, going long. Of course, didn't last, ended up 4th, but still I think that race will serve as a great prep to cut back to a sprint. Now, I'll try Grandpa George to win it. I put Stormy Canuck in for second. Works are good for his return. He's run well fresh before, but he's an in-and-out type. Not the most reliable horse around, but he's a horse, obviously, for 5,000 that can win for fun. And I put the 4 Swiss Arrogant in for third. Kind of a rough trip last time. Didn't get away well. Was wide early. Had no position. If he can get back to that 117 and change race that he turned in 2 starts back, then he's in the mix as well. He's as good as anything else after the top 2 anyway. But with we agree on the 2 class droppers here. The 2 Grandpa George over the 6 Stormy Canuck. I went 2, 6, and 4. On to the second race. I got some $4,000 fillies and mares. No, where's the 2? They're going to go a mile on the 16th. I ended up on the 3 Honey Skila. Once again, another class dropper. Been running for 8,000. That's a pretty significant drop to get away from them. Storm Quality and Doreen's Delight. Those are pretty good horses. Went down there pretty fast in 17 and change. Still has to prove she can go long, but I think she will. I think the class change will be enough to get her in the winner's circle anyway. Even if she can't go long, she'll still be able to go around there in 47 and change, or maybe if she went in 148, might be good enough to win.
Just a talent level will do it for her.
I like her to win it. I put Rachel Run in for second. Battled on the pace last time. It was her first try without blinkers, and I thought she ran reasonably well. That was a pretty quick non-winners of 2 for 4,000, and I think she looks to me to be the best of the rest. And I put the 1 Allie's Bobcat. I just wanted to steer away from anyone out of that triple witching hour Allie's Bobcat race. The horses like Rachel Run and Honey Skila, I think, are better type runners, and I went 3, 2, and 1. I really think Honey Skila is probably one of your better bets, your most likely winner on the card.
Yeah. I really don't have much to add, Mike. I see it the same way. Honey Skila, as you mentioned, the distance is a bit of a question mark for her, but just on pure talent, I think she's above the rest of them. Rachel Run and Ivan second. Ryan Pacheco taking over for Richard Hamill. Ryan Pacheco's a guy that is picking up some of these horses. A couple guys to keep an eye on, I think, that are going to start to make some noise now with Hamill out. Obviously, Amadeo Perez is going to have his pick. But Ryan Pacheco and Frank Fuentes are 2 that I look that could kind of fill in the gaps. I see it the same way, Mike. 3, 2, 1 for me in the second. I'm with you. On to the third, 3-year-olds and up, 4,000, going 6.5 for older horses. I've landed on the 5 here, Joint Choice. Big run last time. Got a 70 buyer, went with 17 and 2. If he can duplicate that performance in here, I think he's going to be your horse to beat. Frank Fuentes takes over for Corinne Andros, the apprentice, as we mentioned, who is away in a jockey challenge. The second spot, I went to the 7 Storm Proud Papa. I keep picking him. And eventually, I might be right. I had him on top originally, but Joint Choice's number in the last one was just too big to ignore. So I put Storm Proud Papa in the second spot. Amadeo Perez is another one who keeps sticking with Storm Proud Papa. He's going to get his turn at this level. And the third spot, I went to the three-point play out of the Pattylini barn. Another one that's kind of been in these down at this level for a while, and he keeps getting beat a few lengths. I think maybe, you know, he's coming into a good one and could get into the third spot. I had trouble coming up with the third horse, but I landed on three-point play. 5, 7, and 3 for me in the third.
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble. This race is one of the tougher races on the card. There's no, I mean, you can knock every horse in this race, and you can also see some positives in some of them. So I went to the 2 after court. I'm going to try this one. Kind of was in behind horses, had to go wide. Wasn't the worst trip in the world, but certainly wasn't the best. Ended up third that day. I like the draw. It moves inside, and with these horses, just a little bit of position help could be enough to push the horse over the hump and get a win. I mean, this horse has run some decent races this year. I know it's 4 starts back, but that loss of this Bruce Few would beat this field. Last couple of races, the trip just hasn't been there. And when these cheaper horses don't get their trip, they generally run fifth or sixth, and that's what's happened after court. I think you get a better trip from the 2-hole. I put the 1 Principe's Herbie in for second. I think he's the speed of the race. He had to battle pretty hard last time with Ray's Reno, but I thought the horse ran reasonably well. I like the post change. This one moves inside. Had an outside draw last time, and I just think this horse, if left alone on a speed track, which it could be, this horse might be dangerous. So I'm going to put Principe's Herbie in the mix, and I put the 5 Joint Choice in for third. Nice win at the non-3 level, but this is a tougher race up in this non-4. I've left Proxy Man and Storm and Proud Pop out, as well as Ray's Reno and 3-point play. It's a good little race, and as I mentioned off the top, you can like a lot of horses.
Good betting race. You will get some value.
Yes, I went 2, 1, and 5 in a very confusing third race. On to the fourth. I got some 2-year-old fillies here. I got back-to-back maiden filly races, or maiden allowance races for the 2-year-olds. This will be the filly half. I got a field of 8 signed on to go 6 furlongs. Anytime you're dealing with not a lot of form to go on, just a little bit of guesswork. You like to go with good trainers who always have their 2-year-olds ready. And Dino Condolinos has got 2 pretty nice ones in here, in the 5 Bullet and the 2 Biscuit. Both have actually had a race under their belt. Both good races, and Dino's done very well in the past with his young stock. These are 2 live horses. I got to go to them. I'm going to put Bullet over top of the 2 Biscuit. And I put the 7-horse Storm Stalker of the Rob Van Overshot barn. The works were decent. I like the Mare Yodeling Ann. I've seen some pretty nice little 2- and 3-year-olds out of that Mare Yodeling Ann, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this horse have some ability. Go back in his works. This horse worked pretty good, and now they're just working him for stamina. And Rob never wanted to work horses super fast, so it's not surprising. I think this horse could be live. And I did notice that Ryan Pacheco rode the 3-horse Yakula last time to a 3rd place run, and he ends up on Rob Van Overshot's horse. So for what it's worth, I like seeing those kind of things, and you might get 10 or 12 to 1 on Storm Stalker. But I do like the Dino pair. I went 5-2, and then for third I put the 7 in.
Again, I'm with you, Mike. Bullet, the daughter of Dunkirk, looks like a monster in here. She got beat by Quattro Cat, who is considered one of the nicer 2-year-olds on the grounds for sure at this point of the season. Biscuit, as you mentioned, son of Rosberg, who ran here for Swift Thoroughbreds. Another one that had a good race under its belt. That was going 3.5. Just going to get better when they go 6 furlongs. So I got him in second as well. And I did go to the one that you just mentioned. I went to Yakula in the 3rd spot. Didn't get a big buyer. It was 3.5 for the daughter of Cosplay. I think maybe going 6 furlongs. She'll improve, and I like the way that Mel Snow's barn is going right now. So I went with the 3 Yakula in the 3rd spot in kind of a wide open. Basically, it's the Swift horses, and then you pick one for your 3rd horse. But I went 5, 2, and 3 in the 4th. On to the 5th, now the boys' turn. 2-year-old maiden special weight going 6 furlong for the boys. And I've landed on the 4 here, Stone Ridge Ruler. Out of the very hot Craig McPherson barn, batting 40% right now. Leading rider, or second leading rider, Amadeo Perez, takes the call. Soon to be leading rider, Amadeo Perez. Works look good, breeding looks good. Top connections. I'm going to go with him on top. The 2nd spot, I went with the lone filly in here, Ambleside Park. Trainer Dave Forrester had 2 fillies. He put one in the filly end and put this one in the boys' end. Daughter of Fusiachi Pegasus out of Capilano, who's been a stellar broodmare for Ray Hansen and George Gilbert. She's a half-sister to Overact, Langara Lass, who were both very tough at 2-year-olds. And, of course, last year's reigning Older Mare champ, Madeira Park. The works look okay. I know Forster doesn't really crank them up. for their first start. That's why I put her in the second spot. She may need one, but it looks like the talent is there. In the third spot, I went to the well-named Mario's Win. Another one out of the Craig McPherson barn. Works look good for the Grey Ross stable, and I know that some people have been talking about this horse, that he has some talent as well. I went 4-2-5 in a 2-year-old race with not much form to go off of. As Mike would say, go down to the paddock, have a look at him, see who's handling the experience better than others.
I agree with the 4 Stone Ridge Ruler. I think we're just liking this horse off of connections. You got Amadeo Perez, who probably had his choice of 4 or 5, and here he ends up on the Craig McPherson runner. And as you mentioned, Craig going great guns, even with his 2-year-olds. He had Finality, Charmer, and there was another one, another colt that he had that ran well. Forestry's Devil, that was it, the backseat Becca full, but he's had 2 nice talented runners for the Shaws, and he's got another one here for Norma and Leo Shaw in Stone Ridge Ruler. They give a lot of money again, another expensive yearling purchase, but they're not afraid to spend the money, the Shaws, and they get good results, and looks like they got a pretty nice little horse here, and Amadeo lands on him, so will I. In the second spot, I put the 8 Goes Way Back for Tack Inaway, a good third behind Quattro Cat and Bullet. And I thought it was a good race. Made a bit of a premature run and hung a little bit, but I think he got beat by 2 pretty nice horses. So I'll put Go Way Back in the second spot. And I agree with your dad's filly, the 2-horse Ambleside Park. Excellent pedigree. Good work tab, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this one rolling late. But I went to the 4 Stone Ridge Ruler, but have a look at him. The 6-horse O'Derrick is interesting too. Don't give up on this horse after one poor race.
Yeah,
this horse has been working nicely in the morning. This horse bore out at the quarter pole, which is why he got beat 100 lengths. So give this horse another look.
And Sylvia Gregory's 2-year-olds are going well as well.
They're going very well. 4-8-2 for me in the 5th. On to the 6th, kind of a co-feature. This is an allowance race for fillies and mares. Optional claimer, actually. $35,000 will be the tag. Only one in for the price, and that's the 6-horse Secret Code. The other 5 fit the allowance conditions, and non-winners at 2 other than. This will be a sprint to kick off the first half of your late daily double. And we got a pretty solid favorite in here that looks pretty good. Number 1, Dear Lily, just finished winning the same condition a few weeks back, actually 4 weeks back. But looked good that day, sat just off the pace, powered by Terlani and Super Divine, and it's good. She's going to be tough to beat. I put Super Divine, who finished behind her that day, but has since come back to run second, to Pretty Reckless going long. I think she's the next best horse. And I put the 3-year-old filly, Farniente, in for third. This is a tough assignment for her, but she really doesn't have a lot of options. There's a 3-year-old filly race that was non-2, non-3 BC bred that she's just not eligible for, and so she kind of stuck. And once none of the allowance races went for her, she's going to try and go against the older mares. So she gets the real acid test in here, and she does return to a sprint. I went 1, 2, and 4. I think Dear Lily's the obvious horse.
Absolutely. I got the same horses, Mike. I see it the same way. Dear Lily's on a roll right now. Progressing buyers, top connections, 2 in a row over these type fillies.
Right.
Tough to go against her. I agree. Super Divine looks like the best of the rest. A filly that's had 4 starts this year, 2 seconds and a third, so she is right there at this caliber. Just can't seem to quite get it done. And as you mentioned, Farniente, the 3-year-old filly in here, but 2 wins in a row, going the right way. So doesn't really scare me too much to pick a 3-year-old filly against these older mares.
She's going to be in the touch wood. She's going to be in the BC Oaks. I mean,
she's one of the
down
better
the road. She's one of the nice. Arabella's Muse is the head of the class, and always missing Arabella's Muse is the head of the class. But this filly hasn't tackled them yet. But I mean, she's one that could put a scare into them.
As you mentioned, nice little acid test for her and get a race into her. She's going to have to run. She's not a BC.
There's no other place to run.
So you're going to miss BC Cup. So She gets to run, and it's a good test for her to jump up against these more accomplished mares. On to the 7th, fillies and mares, maiden 5,000 going, 6.5 furlongs. Field at 8 goes postward. I've landed on your likely favorite, Be Remarkable, out of the Cindy Krasner barn. Alex Bisono takes the call. Just got beat a length and a half last time, and a decent time of 18-2 for your $5,000 maiden mares. 59 buyer that day. Got beat by a horse that I think is okay in Find Your Beach. Looks like Be Remarkable to me. Only one that could maybe scare is Jag Time Tune of the Nancy Betts barn. Amadeo Perez ran into Ken Johnson's 4 times lucky last time. Only got beat a half length. That one, however, was in 120. That's why I give the nod to Be Remarkable. Jag Time Tune in second. In the third spot, I went with the 7 Macho Woman out of the Tracy McCarthy barn. 3 starts. Hit the board in all 3 of them at this level. If she works her way through them, eventually she will break her maiden once she works through the tougher ones. In this category, I think there's two that are tougher than her in here today. That's why I got her in the third spot. I went 2, 4, and 7.
Yeah, I agree with your top two. I went to the 2B, Remarkable. I think she's miles the best on paper. That was a quick heat that she ran second in behind Find Your Beach. Find Your Beach came back, actually run second in a non-winners of 2.
Yeah.
So she got beat by a pretty formidable foe that day, and I just don't see anyone in here with the kind of credentials that Find Your Beach had that beat her. So I like Be Remarkable, has speed, better draw, had an outside post last time, but much better draw. Alex Bissono rides for Corinne Andrews, of course, as you mentioned, is away in Sacramento riding in a
Apprentice challenge.
Apprentice rider challenge. I put the 4 Jag-Time Tune. Probably not much value with Jag-Time Tune. Had a lot of chances. I don't love this horse at all. I can see this horse not being in the money, but I can also see the horse being, on the board. But not a horse I love. They went in 120. Okay, it's better than a few of them, but I don't want to. I think the 2 is.
You're not all in.
No. And I put the 8 Cape Away in for third, just because of Craig McPherson.
Yep.
Roseanne Choksey does a lot of work for him as well, so not surprising to see him give him a shot. And this horse was a distant third in an average heat, but I mean, still, of course, has some room to improve.
Just a first start too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I went 2, 4, and 8 in the Saturday finale. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the 7-race program. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections, and here are my picks for the July 19th program. Back in race number 1, I went to the 2, Grandpa George, 2, 6, and 4. Race number 2, I went to the 3, Honey Skila, 3, 2, 1. Race number 3, I went to the 2, After Court, in what is definitely the toughest race on the program. I went 2, 1, and 5. Fourth race, I think Dano Condolinios and Swift Thoroughbreds are holding all the aces in this one, with the 5 Bullet and the 2 Biscuit. 5, 2, 7 for me in the fourth. In the fifth race, went to the 4 Stone Ridge Ruler, 4, 8, and 2. In the sixth race, another heavy favorite, likely and probable winner, is the 1 Dear Lily over the 2 Super Divine and the 4 Farniente. In the seventh and final, I went to the 2 Be Remarkable, 2, 4, 8 for me in the seventh.
Up next will be my picks. There we go. In the first, I agree with Mike on number 2, Grandpa George over the 6 and the 5. Got a lot of the same picks here today, Mike. It could be a bit of a chalky day. The second, I went to the 3 Honey Skila over the 2 and the 1. In the third, I went to the 5 Joint Choice over the 7 and the 3. In the fourth, I went to the 5 again, Bullet over the 2 and the 3. In the fifth, I went to the 4 Stone Ridge Ruler over the 2 and the 5. In the sixth, I agree with Mike on your heavy favorite, number 1, Dear Lily. Beat her to get your picture taken over the 2 and the 4. And in the nightcap, the 7th, I went to the 2, Be Remarkable over the 4 and the 7.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Handicapper's Corner. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, and hopefully we've given you, good luck in your wagers, and hopefully a little bit of the insight helps. Our next live card will be Sunday, July the 20th.
I just want to mention, too, this week at the beer stands, you will be able to get flyers that have me and Mike's picks on it, the overnights, and a coupon for right here at the Derby Bar and Grill.
Looks like? Something like that?
No, it looks way better than that.
Okay. But yes, there'll be our selections will be out there at
We'll show you in the next show.
Racecourse.
We'll show you the next show what it looks
and
like.
Hopefully we have a really good weekend.
Yes, I hope so.
That's
why they're giving them out the beer lines.
But yes, thanks everyone for tuning in. Next live card, it will be on Sunday. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.